This is part 4, Outputs and Communication, presented by Alistair Scrutton of Future Earth. Researchers must make sure their research is accessible and understandable. Part of this means using a wide range of tools to communicate to a wide audience. This can be tools such as television and radio, newspapers, social media, blog posts, or scientific articles in open access journals. Here we look at some of the different kind of tools. You have the scientific papers here at the bottom, then what we call the key content, perhaps your website, and then further up and slightly with a wider range of audience, you have the kind of storefront content, things like audio, YouTube, and the teaser content at the top. This is the kind of stuff that makes people want to click onto your paper, accessing your link, for example, on Facebook or Twitter. Remember about the limitations to traditional publishing. Only 10% of all scientific papers are actually cited, and 50% are only read by their authors and journal editors. Twitter is a huge help for scientists. It has a huge outreach. You can talk in plain English. You'll get immediate feedback on your research. It helps you to network among scientists and the wider general public. And it keeps you up to date with the latest trends, comments, and scientific articles. Twitter can be part of any scientist's identity. It's about self-promotion and work promotion. It's like a mobile business card. It's a literary resource. It gets you the news very quickly about your field, the scientific institutes in your field, things like prizes and funding. You find out about jobs and events. You can interact with students. You can collaborate on research. And it's fantastic for networking, not only within your field, but in related fields. Blogs are another way for a scientist to make an impact beyond his own academic environment. Stories connect people, and blogs can significantly increase readership of science papers. But remember, blogs can't be written like science papers. Increase interest in the article with good, snappy headlines, pictures, or even videos, and a good, sharp first paragraph that draws the reader in. We've been telling stories since the dawn of humanity. Blogging is about storytelling, which is about compelling narratives. It's the way that we connect science with humanity. Always remember, there are different approaches for different audiences. There are different types of blogs, institutional, for example, or personal. We have potential audiences, whether that could be policymakers, the public, students. And there are different ways of approaching storytelling through published research, new developments, commentaries, and even just fresh ideas that you may come up with. There's a huge difference between how academics write and how science bloggers or science writers communicate. Academics can be abstract. They talk about methods and results, conclusions, and of course references. Science bloggers or science writers have snappy, short titles. They talk with anecdotes. They say, why is this important? They introduce the story. They show very briefly the method and the results. They really hit hard. Why is this significant? What does this mean for the research field? They encourage discussion, and always at the end, we'll talk about what is next. Here are some tips for blog writing. Tell the story of you talking to a friend or a family member. Source your facts and figures to increase trust in your article. Use striking and unusual images. Keep it short. We say around 600 to 800 words is the kind of level which you'll keep the interest of the writer in. Know your audience, who you're writing for, a policymaker or a student or fellow academics. Use quotes. They help to break up the article and make stories easier to read. Don't use jargon. Try not to write in a passive voice. Don't write long headlines. And don't document the entire event. Good writing is about being concise, short, and to the point. Headlines are perhaps the most important part of any published story. They draw in the reader. Without a good headline, people won't even go further down the story. So how do we write a good headline? Look at the element of surprise. Think of something that people aren't expecting. Questions are good. You ask a question, people want to read on to know the answer. Induce more curiosity into the reader. Think about titles such as how to do something. Think about ways of surprising the reader again with a kind of negative in the headline. Never write a boring blog post again, for one headline. Use numbers. 10 tips for writing a perfect blog post. Refer to the audience, engage the audience in the headline. And be specific. Show them, let's say, for example, a 6-part process to getting twice the traffic to your blog. Make sure you use good images when you write a blog, for example. Make sure it has this kind of shallow depth of field, no real bright colours. Try not to use conference photos, they're really generally quite boring. And use or get some good ideas from photo sharing sites shown below. The commons.wikipedia.org and www.flickr.com are two good ways of getting photos. How do we choose the best image for any piece that we're writing? Always think, where does this graphic fit into your organization's communication or media strategy? Again, ask, who is the intended audience? How does the chosen delivery medium change the image? And what is the story that the audience will encounter